Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called It's a Wonderful World. It's a Wonderful World is a game published by Lucky Duck, La Boîte à Jeux, if it's French, I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names, Ori Games, and designed by, again, I'm going to butcher these, I apologize, Frederic Gerard. Again, that's French. Just look at it, because I'm going to say it all wrong. So, and then the designer, or the artist, is Anthony Wolf. It plays 1 to 5 players. If this is just the base game I'm talking about, 45 minutes, ages 14 plus. And in this game, what you were doing, let's see if there's theme. Is there theme? You are leading an expanding empire. You must choose the path that will get you to develop faster and better than your competitors. That's the whole entire theme. So effectively what you're doing in this game is you are drafting cards that are going to have some kind of event or thing, and you're trying to either use them, where's the cube, to get rid of the cubes, to put them on other cards, or keep them and use other cards to fill them up with cubes. When you fill them up, they'll be with points, custom productions, maybe give you a bonus. And you're going to do that over 4 rounds, drafting style. Whoever has the most points is the winner. That's it. So that's enough talking about it. Let's go on the table. Check it out.
Come on, play the game.
All right, so here's a game of It's a Wonderful World, all set up for 2 players. Setup is pretty simple. You're going to assemble this little board as 2 pieces. You're going to put all the appropriate color cubes on their appropriate spaces. They have pictures and icons. They all have special names too. I'm not going to go into that. I know the red ones are Chrysalium and this one is Science, but I'm going to refer to them as colors, so we'll just leave it at that. But no, they do mean things. You're going to put the round marker, green side, on round 1. Once you go to round 2, you'll flip it over. That's going to tell you the draft direction, which means nothing in a 2-player game, so we're not going to worry about that. Then you're going to have your, I forget what these characters are. Oh shoot, let me look that up because I do want to call them by their name. Let's see, generals and financiers, lady characters, guy characters, and then you're going to give each player a empire and 7 cards. All right, your empire is going to give you a special scoring ability. There's 2 sides. We're playing on the A side. There is a B side. And it's also going to give you some production to get you started so you're not, crazy struggling as the game goes on. All right, so this is a drafting game. What that means is you're going to take a card from your hand and you're going to put it down in front of you, and then you're going to pass your hand of cards to the player to your left or to your right. In a 2-player game, the other player. And what we're trying to do is we are trying to acquire the appropriate color of cubes to build these cards, to get production, maybe some points, maybe some construction bonuses, or we're going to scrap the card to get the cube that's down here in this corner. All right, that's the whole game. We'll go into that in a little more detail when we get to that phase, but right now we're going to draft some cards. So I produced 2 gray and 2 greens. So I think what I want to do is I'm gonna take this card, a Mega Drill, and I'm going to keep it. Then I'm going to pass my cards over here. They will just do this card. I'm not going to spend too much time on their hand. But now, here's what they had. They gave to me. I'm going to try to get some green. We'll do that. They're just going to take the top card. Makes life easier. They get these. I get these. All right. I want to need something to give me green. These stink. All right, I'll keep that. They'll get this one, and I get these. Ooh, some of these are fun. I'll take this one. They'll take this one. I get their hand. I'm not going to show you too much of the cards because I'll show you as we're playing. They'll take this one. I will take this one. They'll take this one. I get this one. They get that one. All right. So we've each drafted our 7 cards. Now what's going to happen is we're going to move into the next phase where we're going to construct cards or recycle them. Okay, so let's lay out my cards. Let's move these so I can have some room. So I have these 7 cards that I'm trying to construct. Okay, I have a Mega Drill, Robot Assistance, Supercomputer, Nuclear Plant, Solar Cannon, Icebreaker. I'll just put those there because they're similar cards. And then a blue card, Garden of the Hesperides. Now, what I need to do is I need to decide if I want to keep these cards to start working on them to try to acquire the cubes. I want to discard them for the cube that they provide. All right. So let's look down here. So what's this one provide? It provides a gray. All right, so I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to get rid of this one for a gray, this one for a black, and this one for a black. So these get discarded. So a gray and 2 blacks. Put them on there. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then I have these 4 cards left. I want to keep this one, so I'm going to get rid. Oh, I can't. Never mind. I don't want that. I'll actually get rid of this one, which will give me a blue, and we'll put that blue one right there. And I'll keep this green one. And those are my cards. Now, I've constructed this one. If it had any bonus in this part of the card, I would get that bonus immediately, but it doesn't. So I'm going to take these cubes off, and I'm going to put it on my Empire board like this. I'm just going to put it like this to save some room. Now I'm going to produce 2 grays, 3 grays, 2 greens, and a blue. They would normally go above, but to save room, I'm going to do it like that just to make life easier. And now I have these 2 cards. This player's going to do the same thing. I'm not really going to focus on their cards too much because I want to just show you how the game works. Then what's going to happen is once everybody has constructed all the cards they want or scrapped them, they're going to get production. And we're going to kind of do this all at the same time. Well, we have to do this in order from gray to blue because we're going to get some production bonuses as well. So we'll start with gray. I produce 3 gray. They produce 1. So I get my 3. And they will get their 1. And because I had the majority in there, I also get a financier, which is worth 1 point. So I now have a point. Then I can take these cubes and I can assign them immediately. I don't have anything to assign them to, so they go on my Empire. If I ever get 5, it turns into a red cube, which is wild, and I can then assign that somewhere. Once a cube comes on here, it cannot come off except for red. They can be assigned later. Then we'll go to black. I don't have any black. They don't have any black. Then we'll go to green. I have 2 green. They have no green, so I get 2 green. And because it's green, I can pick a financier or a general. Let's take a general. And then we will go to yellow. They have 2 yellow, so they get 2 yellow. And they also get a financier because they have the most yellow production. Then we'll go to blue. I have 1 blue. I will take that blue and I'll put it right there. They don't have any blue. And that is the end of round 1. Now what would happen is any card you have in front of you stay in front of you to work on or be scrapped later. Then we're going to get 7 cards again. In a more than 2-player game, we would flip this and we would pass the cards to the right and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to do exactly what we did here through 4 rounds. So we're going to have more cards for production. We're going to have more cards that we're working on, more cards to scrap. But every round you're getting 7, and we're going to do that draft just like we did at the beginning. Then at the end of the game, if I can find that page again, we're going to do scoring, which is pretty straightforward and simple. We're just going to follow this sheet here. We're going to get points for any cards that give straight up points. So let's see if I can find some of those without having to go into, yeah, so this one. If I had this one in front of me, 2 points. So any card that just gives you straight up points, you would figure that out. Then we're going to get cards that give you points for black. So this one, I would get 1 point for every black card that I have built. If I built this card, I would get 1 point for my black, so I get a point. Same for green, same for yellow, same for blue. 1 point for every financier, 1 point for every general, and then any special abilities that you have on your card will be lumped into the appropriate section on here. And then after all that is said and done, Whoever has the most points is the winner. And that's how you play It's a Wonderful World. Let's go up to the top. See what you think about it.
What do you think, son? What do you think?
All right, well, that was It's a Wonderful World. So let's look at some of the components. Cubes. I love cubes. We're not going to go into too much detail about the cubes, but I love the cubes. Has wild cubes. That's always welcome. The board's really neat. It pieces together. It's just two pieces. You slide it together. I like the art on the cards. There's a ton of different cards. So many different cards and colors and art and silly themes. There's like a giant like cyborg baby. I love the art. It looks so good. These tokens are fantastic. They are super thick. Look at that. Look how thick those are. Really thick cardboard. You can clearly tell them apart. Even if you have color issues, they're different pictures on the tile, so that's great. So yeah, the components are top notch. There's not a ton of them, but what they are, they're good. So now let's talk about the gameplay. This is just a drafting game. Seven Wonders, Sushi Go, Planted. So many games do this mechanism where someone keeps a card. You're gonna hand a card, you keep one, you pass them around. Once all the cards are gone, you'll play the cards that you've picked. This one, however, you're going to be using the cards in one of two ways, either building them or scrapping them to use the cube that they produce to hopefully build another card, which is really cool. It makes every decision of these cards crunchy. Maybe I want this. Maybe I have a lot of yellow cards that I've already produced, but I got to get all these blue cards, or blue, I can't tell what's either, all these blue cubes to make it so I can produce this. So that's going to take some time, but is it worth it? This also gives me a blue cube. But if I scrap this, I can't use the blue cube to fill out these blue cubes. So a ton of tricky decisions there. There's also asymmetric powers, which is awesome. They're simple, but they're going to give you different goods during every production to kind of get you started, which is cool. So yeah, this game's really interesting. I've played this maybe 4 or 5 times now. I also have a campaign that I still need to try. And the first time I played it, I was not a fan. And I know that's been a common theme across some other players that I've played it with. But if you play it a second time, you kind of understand how you're using these cards, and the decisions are gonna make a little bit more sense because you know what you need to do to ultimately get the most points. So give it a couple goes, and then maybe that second time you'll like it more. If you don't like it after 2 or 3 plays, it's probably not for you. But if you don't like it the first time, I would say give it another shot because it has some cool ideas. It has some cool decisions. It has some interesting pieces to it, but sometimes that first play can leave a bad taste in your mouth. So just, if that has been your experience, maybe try it again, because I enjoy this game quite a bit. So I'm going from not liking it at all to giving this a BGM. Accept the seal. This is going to get a 7.5 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 3.75 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing, but we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and that's what we're going to do. So that is It's a Wonderful World from Lucky Duck. I'm Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.